Alright. So, this motherfucking Carter's Profile, yo, guest star Carter's Profile with the main cast, Marquise, and let me show you what we're doing. You know, you know,
Check it, y'all.
you know, you know, and you saw that. So, you know what type of vibes we are right now, and I'm just gonna tell you guys and Marquise about the first time I ever got drunk, and the only time I've ever had a hangover. So, just set this shit right here. You know what? Can we?
Saw, dude.
Oh, man, I'm trying to see if we can switch this around, but fuck it.
Welcome to the vibe, y'all.
Welcome to the vibe. Hopefully, everyone can be seen. Probably should have set the camera up before we started recording, but fuck all of that.
Yeah, fuck that.
I think you should be able to see both of us decently enough. Anyways, let me play some Gorillas. Alright, bro.
Saw, dude.
Sorry, I'm gonna lose my fucking train of. I got fucking ADD. It's gonna make it hard to think with the music too loud. But, anyways.
Yeah, I mean, where do you even start, you know?
Well, here's where I start. So. Fuck it. Can't play it. Can't even think. Can't even think. So, I guess this is where we start. You go, Fred.
Thank you.
So, I was 14 and fucking, I was going out to my grandma's house to record. What the fuck? Oh, his phone. His phone just got to 15%.
My phone's gay, y'all.
It's all good because I got a phone and it's not gay. Yup, y'all.
So, take your weed back, dog.
Alright. So. Alright. Should be good.
You know?
Nah, just trying to make sure because she has both. But anyway, so I was 14 and I was going out to my grandma's to record for the weekend. And she had this friend that was staying with her. And we're going to call him John. And John was staying with my grandma currently because she's nice and he didn't have anywhere to go right now. He's an old friend of hers. So she was letting him stay with her in the guest room for a little bit.
So they're around the same age?
My grandma is about to be 70 and he's about to be 50. So he's in his late 40s. But this dude John, he was staying with my grandma, and one day he had one of his friends over. He's like, I'm just gonna have this friend over for a little bit, gonna help me do some stuff and fix some stuff. So John had a friend over, and I don't even remember his real name, so we're gonna just call him Phil.
So whenever I hear the name Phil, I think Dr. Phil.
Well then we'll name him Clyde. So
that's better.
John. So what happened was, I was in my grandma's office where her computer was recording music, and I had the door closed, and I was smoking weed in there, which I did all the time because my grandma was getting older, so she's a little bit nose deaf. It's harder for her to smell some stuff, so she doesn't smell the weed as much. So I'll just be smoking in the office and shit, and I just leave the ceiling fan on. But I don't know. I think I don't remember exactly how it happened, but one way or another, um, John like found out I was smoking. He just like peeked his head in there, I think, while I was recording, because my grandma, she usually knocks, so that gives me a second to like put whatever I was smoking out of like under the desk and shit, and then let her come in. But this motherfucker John, he just like opened the door, so I just still had all the shit out. And I was like, motherfucker, you don't knock, you know I'm in here recording, but he just opened the door, and he didn't tell. He was just like, oh, so you're soaking that good shit, oh.
So
And he was
what's this guy looks like?
he was being he looks he
Skinny or fat? Or like just a normal size?
pretty average build. He
Tall,
has
short?
I mean about as tall as I am right now. He
Black,
was
white, or
slightly
brown?
he's white. He was slightly taller than me at the time because I was 14. But he's country. He's a country dude, and he's
Should have
like
called him Dallas then.
he fucking he had a beard and shit. Oh shit! And I just almost kicked over one of the bongs. So I'm gonna put it right here.
Or Jackson.
But fucking Jackson.
Rusty. They call me Rusty.
Fucking John was like, so you were smoking
Is it
that good
still
shit?
on?
Yeah.
No. What's up, guys?
He was like, I'm smoking that shit. He was like, oh, see, you're smoking that good shit. He's like, I'm cool, you know, I'm not gonna tell her nothing. And he's like, hell, and I didn't have a lot. But he was like, man, do you mind if I get it? He was like, what are you smoking on? And I was just like, I think it was like lemon haze. I was like, lemon haze. He's like, oh, lemon haze, that's my favorite strain. Or probably wasn't his favorite. Whatever I would have said, he probably would have said that was his favorite strain. But I was just fit
Like
just
an NPC.
just because he was being cool about
Oh,
it.
that's my favorite
Yeah,
strain.
just because he was being cool about it, and he said he wasn't gonna tell. I was like, man, I don't really have a lot right now because I was 14, so I didn't get weed frequently back then. That was when I just started smoking. So I was like, man, I'll let you have a hit. And he was like, oh shit, I appreciate you. And he was like, man, if you want, he was like, you could come back here, you could come back into my room. What if you smoke? If you want, I got some drink. You could take a drink. So I was like, all right. And then fucking so went back into the guest bedroom, and I let him take a little hit of my weed. It did. It was me, John, and Clyde, and back in the guest bedroom.
Who's John and who's Clyde again?
John, this fucking guy, man.
No, hold on.
John is the guy who walked in.
And Clyde is his friend, right?
Clyde is John's friend. Clyde is not a very important character. You mostly need to focus on John.
Okay.
But it was me, John, and Clyde back in the guest room. And the guest room is like at the back of the house, and my grandma's in the living room, and the living room's all the way on the opposite end at the front of the house.
Okay.
So we're on complete opposite sides of the house, and my grandma's watching TV in the living room. So we're in the back room. And so she can't, hear smell the weed and shit. And so he just tells me where it is, and I get under the cabinet. And oh, by the way, my grandma is a former NA counselor. She's been clean for like 30 years. So she does not allow drugs or alcohol or even cigarettes or any tobacco or anything in her house. So that's why it's such a big deal smoking weed and drinking in her house.
Why is she like?
She's from NA.
Like, what's up?
NA.
Like, is she afraid she might?
No, she used to. NA is Narcotics Anonymous.
Yeah, is she afraid she might like relapse or something?
She just doesn't like drugs. She used to do drugs, and now she's been clean for 30 years, so she just doesn't like drugs, any kind, not even nicotine. So she doesn't fuck with weed. She knows I smoke weed now, but she still doesn't like it. But back
she doesn't fuck with weed.
She doesn't fuck with anything. She used to be a hippie back like in the 70s. She was an OG hippie, so she smoked weed before it was popular. But that was a long time ago. Anyways, so we were back there, and he told me where the drink was, and it was I opened the cabinet, and it was a bottle of Kentucky Deluxe, which I've heard it's whiskey, but I've heard it's not very good whiskey. But that's what I got drunk off of for the first time, and I had Kentucky Deluxe, and he was taking him my weed. So I get the Kentucky Deluxe from under the counter, and I turn around, and these motherfuckers are hitting like meth.
Like, how does?
They're hitting meth out of a meth pipe.
Excuse me.
I turned around, yeah. So I bent down to get that shit out of the cabinet, turned around, and they're hitting a meth pipe, and I'm like, all right, you guys are just smoking meth in my grandma's house. All right. So.
And I thought I was bad.
Yeah, that's exact. I was like, I thought I was bad smoking weed. You guys are smoking meth back here. And then he looked. This motherfucker John was like, he was like, you want to hit?
Yeah.
And I was just like, no, thank you. And then he was like, oh yeah, good. You should don't do this stuff. You should be. I was like, man.
You totally would have gave you that.
If I would have said yes, he 100% would have gave me that shit. You just trying to act like that because I'm like, man, what the fuck?
Yeah, you're right.
I was like, man, it was kind of cool that he gave me some whiskey. But I was like, these motherfuckers are smoking meth. So I was like, let me just. I didn't run off or anything.
Like, why are these guys being so cool? Like,
I didn't run because I let them take one hit of weed. They're like, all right, you can see us smoke meth. I'm like, listen,
totally
dude. I'm 14. I did, but I was like, how do you guys know I'm not gonna go fucking tell? I'm 14, bro. I didn't even have facial hair yet, but I was like, man.
Yeah, that was kind of dumb.
But I just turned my head. I was just like, all right, you know what? Fucking, it's not. I just stayed in the room, and actually, know what I did? You take this. I went and I got a cup. This video is probably about to end, if it hadn't already. What's the battery at? Batteries? No, we're still good. Hell yeah. So let me. Anyways. Damn, I just never know. Alright, fuck it. Let's get stay there. So, fucking, anyway, I was like, fuck it. I'm just gonna ignore
where we leave off?
I'm gonna ignore that they're smoking meth. So I put the bottle down and I left the guest room for a second and I went to the kitchen and I grabbed a cup about this tall. It was about this tall and I filled it up halfway. So I poured about this much whiskey into the cup. And I poured it halfway full and then I drank it and it was
so what are we talking about? Like
whiskey,
a cup of weed?
A whiskey.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was
half a cup.
Yeah, half a cup of whiskey, right?
Like a just normal drinking glass. It was half of that. I filled half a glass full of it. So like I left. So after I saw them smoking meth.
How strong was that whiskey though?
Hold on. After I saw them smoking, I'm just catching you up. After I saw them smoking meth, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go grab a glass. Okay. So I went and grabbed the glass, filled it halfway up. Or I went and grabbed the glass, went back to the room, and then I filled it halfway up. And I took a drink, and that shit was like, that's drinking alcohol for the first time. It was like drinking gasoline, especially whiskey. But I was like, oh, I'm gonna keep drinking this shit because I felt it like after the very first drink, I started to feel that shit. I was like, shit, I could feel this shit a little bit. So I drank it, and I was feeling a little bit all right. I was like, oh, this is cool. So then I filled it up halfway again, which is basically a full glass because I filled it up halfway twice.
Oh, wow.
So I basically drank a whole glass. And the second time I drank it, after I drank that second half, I was like, oh shit, I'm starting to feel this shit. But then my grandma was like, it's dinner time. So we all had to leave the guest room while what
time do you think like this is all happening?
I don't know. It was nighttime. It was around dinner time. So they just hit some meth, and after I just downed fucking some whiskey for the first time. We were all high as shit.
Jesus.
And we went out there to eat fucking dinner. And they were all right at the dinner table, but I was sitting at the dinner table like I was trying not to, but I was like wobbly and I was slurring my words a little bit. God, and like I was tripping over chairs and shit, and I kept almost like I dropped my fork and and they were just like fucking John, he was fucking like
wow.
They were just like looking at each other because they knew I was drunk. But my grandma was just like, you all right? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. And I was like, I'm gonna go back here. I'm done eating.
So, I think those bastards just wanted to laugh at you.
So,
son of a bitch. So, 14-year-old super drunk.
I was like,
and then they're just over there laughing?
Grandma, I'm not very hungry, so I'm gonna just go back to the office. I'm gonna go back to the office and record some music. And she's like, all right. So I went back to the office and I sat down at her desk and I was looking at the computer screen, and the very next thing I know, John was waking me up. Like, I was just at the computer screen. The very next thing, John was waking me.
Wait, hold up.
John,
So you fell asleep?
I blacked out. I guess I fell asleep, but like right there. I fell asleep. I blacked out like right there, at that like, cause
And then you just instantly woke up the next day.
No.
that?
I was staring at the computer screen, and then I just woke up. I was slumped over on the desk on the keyboard. I didn't go anywhere. I was still in the same place.
Yeah.
So after I went and sat down, it had only been a few minutes. I don't know.
Oh.
But I fell asleep right at the computer and didn't even know. Because next thing I know, he was just waking me up, and I was like, oh, Rick. And he was laughing. He was like, that shit got you, didn't it? And I was like, yeah, it did. And he was like, you should go. He was like, come. He said, come on. He's like, go to your room. Come on, don't you acted drunk. And I was like, yeah, I know. So then I went to sleep because I was drunk as fuck. And then when I woke up in the morning, as soon as I woke up, I felt,
you turned over and you threw up, right?
That's
exactly. You told me this.
I was laying in bed
Instantly.
The first like normally when people wake okay, so you normally you wake up, but you don't open your eyes. Like, your brain wakes up, and then after a few minutes of tossing and turning, then you open your eyes and get up. No. The second my brain was conscious, like, I didn't even get a chance to open my eyes. The second my brain was conscious, I rolled over and fucking and just like I was laying down, I just fucking threw up right next to me, and it was just all yellow. It was just super yellow, and I was just like, and it was so much worse. It burned so much worse coming back up than it did going back down. I was like, and all I could remember thinking as I was doing it was, oh my God, I forgot about hangovers. I forgot about hangovers. And then I was like, fuck. And then I just had a headache for like the rest of the day. And that's the first and only time I've ever had a hangover. I've drank a lot since then, but I've never had a hangover since that first time. Yeah, bro.
I mean, what was that like?
I told you it's just like, I don't know. What do you got? It was a little crazy to go through a 14. I've done some shit. I've done some shit, man, but
I mean, now
I told you it was a little bit lengthy. Shit. Oh, damn. I dropped a roach, I believe, but if I did, you'll just find it later. There's a roach down here if you feel like looking for it someday. Yeah. You ever don't got any weed? Come look down here. In this crack, and there's a little fucking raw for you.
Thanks, man.
So, on that
you should
note,
smoke my core more often.
Yeah, we should drop weed in here and smoke more often, man. But hey, on that note, now we can finally smoke. So let's get some hits going and some weed.
Yeah.
Some hits going and some weed. I'm tweaking. That joint got me a little bit.
Damn, dude, I can't believe like those guys are smoking meth in your fucking house, dog.
That shit, I know. And then, bro, that like I just bitten down, went to grab the whiskey, turned around, and they had a meth pipe out.
They just had like a fucking meth pipe. And
no, it was It was like one of those little skinny glass ones. It looks like a glass straw with the glass ball on the end of it. You know what I'm talking about? It.
Oh yeah.
It looks like, and it was one, and they were just like they had it, and they were fucking just like twisting it around. And I was like, what the fuck, dude? And they just offered.
They looked like they were experts in it, didn't they? They looked like they'd done it before.
Yeah, so Clyde only came into that story one time. But yeah, him and Clyde and fucking John, they were just smoking weed. Or smoking meth. John's fucking.
What did they, like, how did they act when they were like hitting that shit?
They didn't act they act like they were just hitting some weed around me. They thought
just their weed?
Like just cause, bro, a 14-year-old, just cause a 14-year-old gives you a little bit of their weed, don't mean you pull out, bro. That's a whole nother step from fucking weed, bro.
Yeah,
like,
bro.
That's like if we're smoking weed, and right now, like, hey, while we're smoking weed, you want to fucking inject some heroin real quick? Shit, like, jeez, bro.
Mind if I shoot up real quick, dog?
Bro, shooting up is like the most. That's like the most tweaker.
Shoot up real quick.
That's like the tweakerest way to fucking do drugs, bro. Like, even if I did like that shit,
I gotta get my daily dose, though, dog. You gotta let me hit up real quick.
Oh shit! think I know what time it is.
Like, do you know anybody who actually does heroin?
No. Heroin?
Like, of any kind?
Yes, I do. I do, actually. I didn't think I did, but I do. I stole some heroin one time from them. I didn't use it, but stole it to try to sell it.
Apparently, like, heroin is like heaven. You know, like you're just floating on a fucking cloud.
Yep, until you know it
until
wears
you get
off.
fucking addicted.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, my fucking back.
And then it's like you'll kill a man for your next daily dose.
Fuck that. I'm sticking to psychedelics, man.
You break into your father's house and steal his cash from under his sink.
All right, y'all motherfuckers ready for this smoke cess?
Just for your next daily dose, dog.
Alright, let's fucking get it. Hold on, wait.
So what are we even gonna title this video, dog?
I don't know. Maybe a story time plus smoke sesh.
It's too generic.
Well,
you want something that really captures the audience, you know?
Well, I mean, that's something for you to decide, I think, man. It's all on your phone. And on that note,
I want some kind of wordplay for the title.
Alright. This shit's a bit too bright. Guess we take some hits now.
Let's do it, dog.
Let's get blazing up, nigga.
I'm gonna go take a piss real quick.
This nigga gonna go take a piss. Lame ass nigga wanna piss when we about to smoke. Look at this nigga.